This week I've been working with Scout on being used to going in and out of his crate with me in control. Simply because when we were at the vet, and you open the crate door to get them out of the crate, like this, you usually have an eager dog sitting right there, and you really need to be fast to get your hand in there on the collar and then get a leash on. If you are going on a short ride, you can probably leave the leash on, but I would actually have someone sit next to the crate and hold the leash so they don't get wrapped up or harmed. So we've had his crate door open a lot more, and he goes in and out, and he drags things in there, drags them back out again. He's very comfortable with the crate, but he still doesn't like being shoved into one. So what I'm doing is leaving the door open, putting things in there, letting him choose what he wants to use. And I've just introduced a bigger bike trailer. This is a nice one. It's I was hoping he could fit in the one I had for Coco, but he's too big. And I actually got this for me to use as a walker. But at the same time, I needed to test and see if he would fit in it. It's a stroller with a wheel that turns around 360 degrees in the front, or a jogger with a bigger wheel, like the side wheels, or a bike trailer. And like if I want to walk a mile to the senior center and I want to bring a bunch of magazines to donate, I need something like this to get them there. If I want to make a trip to the dump and I don't drive, I need this to get there. So what I'm doing as a secondary use for this is teaching him that he can go in and out of this cart, and doing it, and we're still working on down, doing it at the same time with the crate so he knows he can go in and out of it comfortably. It's something you want to address. Now this is puppy behavior. He's got my sleeve. He wants me to stop what I'm doing. And at first I was just straight out correcting him. Drop. 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 That's why I have an old sweatshirt on. Drop. 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 And you can see he's thinking about it. Drop. Drop. Down. Down. And he wants to play. But he's hurt me a couple of times with his teeth. Drop. Drop. And as soon as I picked up the camera to make a video and stopped working with him on the cart, this is his reaction. And this is like having a temper tantrum. He wanted to be working on the cart, and I picked up the phone. So this is something that not only has to be nipped in the bud, it has to be reshaped into either pull, 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 or drop, 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 drop. Now, there is a positive way down, down. I have a control collar on him, which he knows if I grab it, he's going to stop in a second. And he's just too rambunctious. But I do have something that I've been working with. It's a knitted strand on a spool knitter that I roll up into a ball. Now, it doesn't usually come apart that quickly, But it's like a magic ball. So he goes and gets the ball, and I tell him to bring it. Bring, drop, sit. I mean, can you believe it? So the advantage to this strand is you are interacting with the dog. If you use a rubber ball and you throw the ball and the dog brings the ball back, I'm looking for a rope because I did it the same thing with a rope. Then it's fetch and back and forth. But with this and with the yarn ball, puppies are determined to be the main attraction. Just a minute, please. Down. Now this looks like vicious behavior, but I happen to know that's not in his temperament. What I was going to say is the advantage to the strand. You see this? This is unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. And that time he got a knee in the chest. He knows I only have one hand because I'm holding the camera, and he's using that to his advantage. The advantage to the yarn ball is he brings it to you, you roll it back up again, and he actually needs you to be able to play with it. He needs you to fix it for him. And you're going to all assume I'm not going to post this video, but I am, because he's a puppy. And this is probably why agencies charge so much money for service dogs. Now he's 6 months old. By the time this is carefully worked out of him, he'll be about a year. And so many dogs like to play with ropes and stuff like that. Wrong. Wrong. And you can find keywords to use to just get the message across. It's not acceptable behavior. And this has been so funny. Wherever they go, they have their toys. When he gets a little frustrated, he just grabs his tail. So he knows he can't control me. And now he's going to sit and be a good boy. Going to be a good boy. No, stay. Stay. Anyway, you can make a very simple 6-foot strand of knitted yarn, as you see on the floor there. Roll it up, throw it for the dog, tell it to bring. He does bring very well. He'll bring it, and then I tell him drop, and then he gets a treat. And that's the beginning of teaching him. Bring the cane, bring the laundry, bring the washcloth, bring the phone. And like I said, when you roll the knitted strand up in a ball, throw it for him. He thinks he's playing ball. But then teaching him that he has to bring it to you for you to roll it up again not only creates a bond between you and the dog, it reinforces the fact that they know they need you. We're where they get their food. He knows he needs me, and that reinforces that, which then, in the long run, makes a better behaved dog. It's just a simple knitted strand on a 4-pin knitting Nancy, about 6 feet long, and you use it as a ball. Then you have the dog bring it to you, drop it, and you roll it up again, and you can do it for hours. And now we'll get back to working on the trailer. This moves a little bit. It does have a parking brake, but I have this in the house set up for a couple of reasons. I needed to have the fabric stretch out a little bit more to make it easier to put it up, and I can start to get him used to motion. He was fine in the car, but a stroller type thing is different. And again, this brings in control. If a dog feels a little uncomfortable with the motion, the person is the one with their hands on the stroller. The person is the one in control. And of course, you know, you don't want to go zipping down the street or try to do wheelies or any of that stuff. And in some ways, it might limit, depending on your dog, the tasks that you have, but they can bark and communicate. If I have a seizure and blank out, I would imagine he would start barking because I would stop walking and I'd be standing there and he would say, "What are we doing?" He's already been doing that, barking at me when he senses something's wrong, and at his age, he hasn't quite yet figured out exactly what's wrong. So it's another way of having the dog fit into what your plan is. So my plan is to use this as a cart, a grocery cart, a transporting cart, and if he behaves and develops correctly, he can go with me. It's always the person, the medical disability, the medical need is the priority, and the dog has to fit into that plan. Whether it's a ball, teaching them they don't jump and bite and grab your sweatshirt. He is a puppy, but it's still unacceptable. He needed to work something out because then he calmed down. The person is the priority. And little by little, everything you do has to get that through to the dog.